Do you remember this? At the Independent Spirit Awards, the gay men's chorus tribute to Laura Dern, where they sang Laura Dern over and over again. That's just the tribute she deserved.
Welcome to Keep It, Crooked Media's show about pop culture and politics and what happens when they smack into each other at an alarming speed. I'm your host, Ira Madison III, a television writer and Fall Out Boy fan.
I'm Louis Fertel. I'm a TV writer and Jane Fonda historian.
And I'm Aida Osman. I'm a TV writer and alleged comedian.
Let's get into it.
Obviously, this is 2020, and the year has kind of sucked. So why not use our 150th episode to list 150 things that did not suck this year? All right, to kick off this list, I want to go back to last week's episode where we were talking about Mariah Carey's audiobook, which obviously is first on our list, but also second on the list. We talked about the audiobook and we neglected to even mention the Rarities album that she released.
And you know there's tons and tons of them because she writes everything. We didn't mention the David Morales remix of Dream Lover that I'm obsessed with. Anyway, Rarities album, fabulous.
And then also, like, the cool thing with, which is odd that we didn't mention it again, is that Rarities lines up so well with reading of the memoir. And when she talks about her 1996 Daydream World Tour with the at Japan's Tokyo Dome, when she talks about that in the chapter, that performance is in Rarities. So her performing Loverboy. So it matches up perfectly. And thank you, Mariah,
And then she
our queen.
Also, number 3 on our list, became the first artist to score a number 1 in 4 decades.
And I love that because it's kind of cheating because she brought back All I Want for Christmas Is You. It became number 1 in 2019 and then leaked into 2020. We love a scam.
We love a scam.
She's covered for 9 more years. Okay, number 4 is Rich Judwiak's weekly Drew Barrymore Supercuts. So she has a talk show, and some unfortunate things are happening here. One, this would have been a brilliant idea 9 years ago. Secondly, Kelly Clarkson has cornered the market on like relatability and saying cool beans all the time. So we don't really need what she's bringing. But if you watch Rich Judwiak's Supercuts on, what are we talking about, Gawker? Jezebel. Very funny and very overwhelmingly quirky. Number 5 on this list, just the other day, the guy Demi Lovato broke up with, Max Eric, staged a sulky photo shoot on a beach where he once proposed to her, and it is silly.
It was maybe the only thing that's brought me joy this week. Granted, it's only Tuesday, but it was very reminiscent of Heidi Montag faking a paparazzi shoot when her album flopped. If you recall her sitting in a chair outside her home crying for stage photos. It was a lot like that.
More on the dance floor. I know.
I miss a PR stunt. Okay, the next one on the list is Chloe and Halle's Today Show appearance, which, wow, that performance gave me everything. We have Chloe and her soft soprano vocals, cute bops. Halle is giving us Etta James, warmth, all that.
And the only reason that this is really on the list as opposed to all the other performances that they did all of quarantine is I love how the opening of Do It starts with them going, Today Show.
Yeah. But that performance reminds me that they probably should split and do their independent careers now because Halle is holding back with the hips because Chloe can't keep up, and it's about time the girls split up, girl.
Number 7. Whatever accent Kim Cattrall is doing in Filthy Rich. Okay, here's what I support about Kim Cattrall. She needs a second definitive credit. And I know she's in Big Trouble in Little China and Mannequin. And stuff, but like, should that be anybody's second credit? I'm just saying. So I hope Filthy Rich does that for her.
I've dealt with a lot of bastards to get where I am. These 3 will be no different.
I've watched all the episodes that have aired so far, and the show somehow makes less sense than Empire, but a lot of accents going on.
Yeah. Cotillion brilliance is all I know from that show. I haven't seen an episode, but I know that Kim is serving.
8 and 9 are the same level of pleasure for me. Trump getting COVID and Parasite winning Best Picture. That to me is like a yin-yang kind of joy level, you know?
For either of these, a lot of people were woken up in the middle of the night with good news.
He's also connected to the Best Picture win. If we recall, he had that ludicrous rant about Parasite winning Best Picture at one of his rallies the next day. I was like, whatever happened to Gone with the Wind? Sunset Boulevard.
This guy's standing for Gloria Swanson and Olivia de Havilland. All right. And speaking of the announcement of Parasite as Best Picture, Jane Fonda, who made that announcement brilliantly, was also brilliant on Keep It, the podcast we host.
Speaking of Lewis smiling, there's permanent laugh lines on his face from that time. So much joy.
Remember when we got it on tape, me talking to her? Wow, what a crazy moment. And then I was on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire with her. I'm going to make that number 11.
Yeah. Well, then I'm going to have to make number 12 all of the versus battles that we watched during quarantine, particularly the ones involving women.
Oh, duh. No,
That's fair.
do men sing?
But Patty, Gladys, Monica, Brandy, Erica, Jill. Also Ludacris and Nelly's won because they both just looked very good.
And utterly, the Wi-Fi in St. Louis is just the funniest thing I've ever seen. Nelly having to break in and out. Oh, my God. It was getting hot in there.
Next one, Betty Gilpin versus Hilary Swank in The Hunt. Betty Gilpin, giving me the kind of career I expected of Gillian Jacobs going forward. I'm thrilled for her. She really is a strange, wacky person.
Yeah, I remember when we had her on the show, I've never met someone who is just that naturally funny and quirky and stands in it. I miss Betty so much, and we should get her on again and again and again.
It feels like 20 years ago, back when people were apologizing for like recording with us in their closet. And now it's like, Lewis does it every week.
Yeah,
Right.
if you're not in the closet, you are in the lap of luxury. And I'm so impressed.
Number 14, the rotary phones in Mrs. America. Picture a rotary phone, like a turquoise one. Who do you want on it? Uzo Aduba with huge earrings. That's who you want.
Yeah. Giving me operator vibes, giving me intention, things to do. Go, Shirley.
Number 15, of course, we have to bring it back to the Sondheim special that aired. And we got to see Meryl Streep, Audra McDonald, and Christine Baranski doing the Ladies Who Lunch. And we got a scary glimpse into their homes.
I've said this is my alarm clock song now. It's too much. It's too good. Audra gives us too much. She's still one of my favorite contemporary Broadway voices of all time. And it was beautiful. And yes, I drank along with them. I did.
For 16, we're going to go ahead and celebrate Zendaya's Emmy win again.
Yes.
And for 17, the fact that Lewis wrote for the Emmys this year.
Guys, I have no skills other than knowing about awards and being near awards. So this was a real win for me.
The center of the Venn diagram of Lewis. This was
See?
the job that you got.
Well, then for 18, we're also going to celebrate this being Aida's first year as a TV writer.
Yes, I got that WGA initiation fee request and almost fainted, but I am here. I am here and happy to be working.
The health insurance will be worth it.
Oh, please. I might just make myself get sick so I can get my money's worth.
And then also we have Ira's many credits, which include 19, Wendy Williams, and 20, Watch What Happens Live. You can only pick one, which was better.
I did get Wendy Williams asking me about threesomes on national television, though. So I may have to go with Wendy Williams. Number 21 is, I know a lot happened this year, but we do have to celebrate the fact that that piece of shit Harvey Weinstein was arrested and sentenced this year.
Lock him up.
Makes me want to twerk.
Let me get to this one before Lewis loses himself. Future Nostalgia, the Dua Lipa album that we all loved and Lewis kept talking about. You still listening to it? Are you still bumping it?
I am. And I think certain songs are even still growing on me. Ira and I love the song Future Nostalgia in particular.
Also, we love a sophomore album that reasserts the fact that they deserve their Best New Artist win in 2019. So thank you, Dua Lipa.
Ding,
Yes.
ding, Aida.
Boom, boom, pow. The next thing on the list is a young Michael Jordan in Last Dance. Oh my God, that man has been a freight train of a human being since he was a child. And I loved watching The Last Dance. It was one of the early things that we got during the quarantine, but it was the first time I think we all felt collected and together during the pandemic, and we were all watching this docuseries.
Also, I know this is like common knowledge to everybody, but you also piece together that he was the hugest superstar, the best basketball player ever before he ever won a championship. Like, that was what I think is kind of strange. And also, the newfound rooting for Scottie Pippen and wondering who signed those contracts and when.
Well, speaking of things that we all watched together collectively during quarantine, the J-Lo and Shakira halftime show.
How could I forget Shakira's tongue action? That's what got me through all of 2020.
Shakira, true weirdo. Like the way she moves, it's like a child pretending to be a bear or something. Next, Hamilton, which is kind of like Animaniacs for your history teacher, right? You know, we got it on Disney Plus. We relearned that Renee Elise Goldsberry is like the beast of Broadway. The woman just heaving lyrics at you.
After that, we have Normal People, which I loved. I didn't think I was going to love. You know what I loved even more, though, is Chloe Fineman doing her impression of Normal People on her Instagram, which wrapped it up in like 5 seconds. So you don't need to watch the season. You just need to watch Chloe Fineman's video.
It was very sad having no new season of Succession this year, thanks to the pandemic, but Normal People was the white excellence that I needed this year.
Next thing on the list is, of course, Michaela Cole, who ran this entire year and will continue to run our lifetimes. I May Destroy You, which was one of the best season finales of television I've ever seen in my life. Loved it.
We needed a Phoebe Waller-Bridge of this year who just like showed up, was completely reliable, and then ended up slaying us and defying our expectations.
And then, of course, we had Katori Hall on the show. And so we have to celebrate at number 28, P-Valley, which wrapped up its season recently on Starz and was pretty fantastic from start to finish.
Yeah.
We need stripper dramas. How are we low on these? It makes no sense. Next is Hayley Williams' album. Now, Ira, I feel like you argue all the time that Hayley Williams and Paramore are among the black or white bands. Do you get...
She is a white woman of color, yes.
That's what I'm... like. Do you get validation on this point, or are you in outer space?
No, he's actually... It's a fact about blackness. And then
Yeah.
I think somebody most recently said Radiohead was also on that list. And maybe, as a second...
That's a lie.
Paramore is number one. It's only Paramore. It's really, truly only Paramore and Hayley Williams.
It's Paramore and also Fall Out Boy, but Pete Wentz is part black, so it's already a black band.
There we go, yeah.
No, a friend specifically asked me once if I was joking about the Paramore thing, and then I said, Google Paramore black. And then there were so many search results of articles about how black people love Paramore.
Oh, all right. Good to know.
It's soulful. But it wasn't just Hayley Williams with an amazing album this year. We barely got time to talk about Roseanne Murphy dropping an album, which is fantastic. And there were a lot of gays online trying to act like, you know, they were having to inform people who Roseanne Murphy is. And I was like, we all discovered who Roseanne Murphy was from So You Think You Can Dance when we saw the Rama Lama Bang Bang performance.
Next, we have the Jessie Ware album, which is the slowest disco possible, but sometimes you need disco for just sitting down or whatever.
You have not come around on this album yet, Lewis?
I love Spotlight, but otherwise, I mean, I just don't need to sleep that much. Sufjan, he's keeping it queer.
Yeah, always.
It was a very
making me
lovely
cry.
album. It did make me cry.
Relentlessly.
Perfume Genius, who I also enjoy on Twitter. Rare that I enjoy a musician on Twitter that much.
And then, of course, Moses Sumney's album, which we talked about a lot. And if you guys are watching their Instagram and Twitter, thirst traps galore. Just recently posted a before and after from 2018 to 2020 that will make you feel like you are not doing shit. So go enjoy that. So hot.
And at 35, we have FKA Twigs' Sad Day video, which is maybe my favorite music video of the year.
Oh my God, cinema. Like a short film is what she gave us. I have no choice but to like her now. I didn't before, but now I realized I was coming out of a place of insecurity and hatred.
You had a little jealousy.
Yeah.
A little FKA twinge of jealousy.
Then next on our list is Black Girls Roller Skating, which has taken over the internet, and I want more videos, girls. Order your roller skates. Let's get it going. Nicole Byer is up on the list of Black Girls Roller Skating that really brought me joy this year.
Also, it's very important because Viola Davis needs things to regram, and that's like the number one category of that. Next, we have, do you remember this? At the Independent Spirit Awards, the gay men's chorus tribute to Laura Dern, where they sang Laura Dern over and over again. That's That's just the tribute she deserved. I mean, that was even a bigger moment for me than her winning the inevitable Oscar.
I loved after she won the Oscar when I tweeted out, who's Laura Dern? Should I get into her? And people thought I was serious.
And people are like, please go watch Jurassic Park. Like, wake up.
Like, I feel like only one person was like, go watch Wild at Heart.
Yeah, right.
It's also like they follow you. They should know what you're doing. You're a little pop culture troll. Next on our list, we have, which I forgot. Trump was technically impeached.
Right.
That happened. Of course that happened.
Yeah,
How could
Mitt
we
Romney
remember?
even voted to impeach him and then spent the rest of 2020 still being a fucking asshole.
Right. Enjoying the credit we gave him and then sucking. This year we did have gay pride technically. That was tolerable. We were mostly at home, but we did have gay pride. Next, okay, the fly that landed on Pence during the debate. I enjoyed that for a second. I will say all the comedy takes on it I didn't like, but it was funny to watch.
SNL sort of put the nail in the fly coffin.
Right.
Didn't need to see Jim Carrey as the fly, but the moment the fly happened, it was a joyous few minutes.
Right. Next, Folklore, which is an album that does grow on you.
Yeah, I've had to bow down from my first opinion about Folklore, and now I really do enjoy it.
Next, we have the inevitable downfall of Lindsey Graham. I cannot fucking wait for this Paula Dean ass bitch to fly down the well.
Truly, as we're recording the sham confirmation hearing of Amy
Kookaburra.
that is occurring, and Lindsey Graham using his time on the Senate floor to complain about people fundraising money for his opponent, Jamie Harrison.
He couldn't suck worse, and the amount of times he has directly contradicted things he has said not 2 years ago are just unbelievably crazy.
Of course, taking things back to the Emmys again at number 43, Dan Levy won a lot of shit for Schitt's Creek this year.
Yeah.
So hello, let's celebrate that. Plus, we Pokemon caught them all with the entire Rose family on the podcast.
True.
So last week we had a very frenetic interview with Bethany Frankel from Real Housewives.
Who apparently has some famous friends. Yeah.
Listening to that gave me the most joy. I love listening to that interview.
Deborah Messing, she's easygoing. Did you see that got written up in like OK Magazine too? It was like Bethany Frankel, how she rates her famous friends.
Oh, wow.
Nice spin. We all had those jobs where we had to write scare headlines every day on gossipy websites, or at least Ira and I did. And
I was
let me tell
fired
you,
from OK Magazine
right
in New York. I interned there for like a couple weeks, and I was truly fired for not asking enough people in Bryant Park to weigh in on the pop culture celebrity polls that they wanted me to do during lunchtime.
Speaking of firings, Stassi and Kristen fired from Vanderpump Rules, and Teddy being fired from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Good work, everybody.
And at 47, we have something near and dear to my heart as a Wisconsinite, the Veep reunion to fundraise for the Wisconsin Dems.
The Veep reunion was enjoyable. It really was. I love Julia.
Truly can't pick a favorite cast member outside of Julia. Everybody on that show is so exactly right for the part they play.
Mm-hmm. Next, we have Bernadette Peters singing in Times Square. Oh, my God. We don't deserve Bernadette. Everything about her is just flawless and perfect, and this was one of my highlights of the year as well.
Also, Queen of Ringlets. We've not improved on that hair.
Yeah. And then this one makes me really sad, but brought me a lot of joy. The posthumous album that Mac Miller's estate put out called Circles. He was working on it before he passed away, and we're really lucky to be able to listen to it.
I agree with that, Aida. I've been a large Mac Miller fan since I feel like the first time I heard him was in the Ariana song "The Way," which is shameful, but that I became a Mac Miller fan afterwards. And number 50 is the show that I worked on for Quibi. Heard of it? Nikki Fresh, starring
Re-get it.
Nicole Richie.